Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 3 of The Good in the Hood. My name is Justin. I am your host. Really excited about our show today. Listen, we're just here to bring some positivity, once again, to things that are going on around us. So we just like to share these things with you guys. Our guest today is pretty exciting. But before I get into that, let me introduce my co-host, my brother, the one and only Houdini himself, Mr. Al. Welcome. Thank you again for being here.
What's up, bruh? Hey, it's good to be back for episode 3. Man, I'm excited about the show. We got a special guest, community activist Shawn Stover will be joining us this evening, and I'm looking forward to what he has in store for us in regards to the hood, man, and how we can make it a better community, man.
Absolutely, man. Listen, uh, Sean, from what I've heard
Uh
and
huh.
what I've seen, and just in speaking with him briefly,
Right.
super interesting guy, super
Mhm.
interesting guy.
Yeah.
And we didn't even really get a chance to touch on half of what we wanted to, but
Yeah.
it turned out to be um, a really good segment
Mhm.
to have him on and to be able to talk with him. It was definitely something that I know you were looking forward to,
Yeah, I was, man.
and I was looking forward to because we're finally getting to the root of what the show's about.
Yeah.
We've talked to somebody in government,
Yeah.
we've talked to local artists,
Yeah.
and now we're talking to just somebody who's like us,
Yeah.
who's just trying to do his part to make the world a better place.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was really cool to get to talk to him. So we had some interesting stuff happen this week
Mhm.
in the news.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
most of which I'm not going to get really in depth on.
Yeah.
Um, as far as I know, Joe Biden is still the next president of the United States.
Hey.
Um, as far as I know,
Uh-oh. Did we get an applause? Did we oh my gosh, we got an applause. Yeah.
also found some new buttons on the keyboard, which is
Yay.
fun. No, but I guess there's reports out there that maybe Donald Trump has admitted that Joe Biden won, but still says he's not leaving the White House. So we'll
Man.
let them handle that as they will, I guess. Touch on sports early today.
Uh-huh.
Not a whole lot going on in college. I mean, there was college football games for us in Ohio that are Buckeye fans.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot going on this week. Apparently, Maryland had quite a few COVID cases, which led them to cancel the game this week or postpone it, whatever.
Ah.
So the Buckeyes didn't play,
Okay.
but for us Buckeye fans, even though we didn't touch the field this week, we still looked better than the Michigan Wolverines, who lost to Wisconsin and are now, I believe, 1-3.
Well.
So
Ooh.
it's ugly. It's ugly in Ann Arbor right now.
That's not good.
Ugly.
That's not good.
Almost to the point where, like, I usually look forward to this game,
Mhm.
to the big game.
Yeah.
But this year, man, I don't know that it's going to be much of a game. I mean, okay, so it's Michigan, and they always play as tough. But it's like playing a Pop Warner team right now. They're
Wow.
bad.
Wow.
They can't figure out who
What?
the quarterback is. They had a kid that they thought was going to be the guy.
Mhm.
Looks like the guy. He's 6'3", 6'4", athletic guy.
Okay.
Kind of, big arm you could throw. Reminded me a lot of Cam Newton. Just maybe a little
Okay.
bit better arm.
Okay.
But not. So I don't know. It's hard to tell, man. There's something going on. There's something going on in Ann Arbor. There's something going on in the Big Ten. The Big Ten is upside down. So you got Ohio State that's almost always at the top,
Right.
and then usually it's a mix of Michigan State or Penn State or even Wisconsin in later years.
Yeah.
Wisconsin's still up there. I think they're 3-0 now,
Yeah.
or 2-0. They've played less games than everybody else. I'm not sure why. Something with their schedule. I didn't keep up on it. So, but and then you've got Northwestern. The Northwestern Wildcats are sitting pretty right now at 4-0.
4-0.
4-0.
Really?
You've got. I'm not sure. I didn't.
Let me.
Can you look up the
Yeah.
Indiana? Look up Indiana.
Yeah.
Let's
take a look and see.
Because I think Indiana was number 10.
Okay, so we're looking up.
Big Ten. Just
Big
look up the
Ten
Big
stats,
Ten,
right?
Yeah, Big Ten standings. Yeah, we'll figure out where they are. But Ohio State. Ohio State is the class of the Big Ten without a doubt. Even as good as the two other undefeated teams are right now, they're not in the same. They're not the same as Ohio State. Ohio State is in a much different tier than most of the Big Ten. Much like Clemson is in the ACC. So we'll see. We'll see as the weeks go on. Big game this week with Indiana though coming up.
Yeah.
So
I see it. Wow.
Did they play last week? Indiana. Did they play last week?
So right now, okay, we are looking at Northwestern, Wisconsin, Purdue, Iowa, Nebraska.
Well, there's two divisions.
Yeah, that's Big Ten. Well, okay, Big Ten East.
Right.
We got Indiana, and then it's Ohio State. And
Indiana
they're 4-0.
So they did play this week. Okay.
Yeah, they're 4-0.
So they played and won this week, and
Mm-hmm.
they're only above Ohio State right now because they played that fourth game, and Ohio State's game got postponed this week. So
Okay.
if Ohio State would have come out and beat, who were they supposed to play? Maryland, which they would have. They would have
Okay.
beat them pretty handily, probably.
Okay.
Ohio State, I would surmise, would be at the top of the division. But it doesn't really matter because this week is going to be the game that crowns the division.
Oh, is it?
So, well, essentially, because there's nobody else. I don't think there's anybody else in the East. Is there anybody else that's undefeated?
In the East,
Or whatever division. I think the East is Ohio State.
no.
Right? So you got Ohio State.
It's
and you've got
Indiana and Ohio State. Everybody else took a L
Right.
in the East.
Who's third in the East?
Now third in the East is Maryland.
And they are
2-1.
2-1. Okay. So they would have been, and again, going on assumptions, I guess, that Ohio State plays Ohio State football. They would have been 2-2. Ohio State would have been 4-0. Indiana would have been 4-0. So one of those two teams is going to lose.
Yeah.
Indiana or Ohio State is going to lose
Yeah.
because they play each other next week. There has to be a winner.
Yeah.
And my I mean, not just because I'm a homer, but my money's on Ohio State. They're just that
should
much
be.
better. They're that. Indiana has played some really close games.
Right.
They played that close game that we spoke about against Penn State,
Mhm.
and they won. But let's not discredit the fact that they're 4-0. Okay, you got to play who's in front of you.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And they're playing the same competition that Ohio State is.
Yeah.
Ohio State just doesn't ever really look like they're in danger of losing the game. Even against Rutgers last week, they gave up 27 points, but they gave them up late, so it didn't really matter.
Mhm.
Indiana has played. They played a double overtime game against Penn State. They played another close game against Rutgers. So I mean, they're 4-0? Good for them. That's great. Next week they'll be 4-1. Ohio State will be 4-0.
Yeah.
It'll
pretty
be the ship will be righted.
Yeah.
I guess if you're a Buckeye fan.
Yeah.
But it's been a big. It's definitely been an interesting week for. Not just COVID as it goes to football, but in Ohio, and I'm here locally in Summit County.
Yeah.
We've had a spike. Ohio in general has had a spike. I know Governor DeWine is getting ready to pull out the belt and whoop us like some bad kids.
Yeah.
Lock us all down again, possibly. So
Yeah.
there'll be plenty of show for you guys to watch as we moving forward. And if that is the case and we do get locked down, we free up some more time, maybe we'll try to put out some more content. But that's all really I wanted to touch on in sport. Well, the Browns won today. Browns beat the Texans. They are 6-3,
Yeah.
6-2, 6-2, or 6-5-2. I don't know what they
The
are.
Browns are,
They won today, so good for them.
yeah, 6-3.
They had okay, they're 6-3. So
Yeah.
they won. I believe I heard Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt both went over 100 yards today.
I'm so proud of that guy, man. I saw Chubbs do what he did. Man, that was a class act. He could have went in for the touchdown, but instead he stopped the clock unselfishly by stepping out of bounds at the 1 yard line so that, the captain of the ship could take a knee. It was impressive. It was impressive. Proud of the squad. Great job.
So in a game that, let's say they were up 3 points, 4 points, they were up a score.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, they were. It was 17-10, I think, at the time.
Yeah.
So, in that instance,
Mm-hmm.
he did what you're taught to do at the end of the game. Keep the clock rolling, don't score, so they don't get the ball back, whatever.
Right.
But they would have been up. If he goes into the end zone, they're up 14 points with a minute left. Even as great as Deshaun Watson is, I don't think they're going to make up that gap.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
But-
And I think that was probably his thinking. I could take this ball in. We could be up by 6 more points. But I took it like, okay, why insult the injury any more than what it is? You guys lost. They didn't put extra numbers on the board for whatever reason Chubbs was thinking, but I thought that it was a class act. Everybody gathered around him at the end of the play and hugged him, and
I don't
think they would have caught up though.
No, I don't find
I don't
any.
think they would've made a
I don't
play
find
that
any
could've done that.
fault in it necessarily. Like, it's just I think at that point, it's not running up the score.
Mhm.
If you go up 2 scores with a minute left.
Mhm.
I
I think they would have been up by 10 points. I think the Browns would have been up by 10 points.
No, they won 17-10, didn't they?
17-10. I'm not sure.
So
I just
if
saw
he goes in, I think it was 17-10. So if he goes in, and whatever, they're up 24. They get the extra point or whatever. They're up 24-10. It's a 2-score game with a minute left. Listen, I've seen a lot of crazy things happen in the NFL.
Yeah, I've seen things happen. So
and
he didn't take the chance. I
being
guess.
that it's the Cleveland Browns and all of the mess that they go
Yeah.
through all the time.
Yeah, he ain't
I
want to
don't.
take that.
Yeah,
Let's
listen,
just get the win.
I don't find any fault in that. I don't find any fault in that.
Yeah, man.
But listen, Nick Chubb is the workhorse for the Browns.
Right.
Without Nick Chubb, they looked pretty terrible. The Texans aren't a great team this year either. I will say this about the Browns. This year, they've beaten the teams that they're supposed to beat for the most part, with the exception of the Raiders.
Okay.
And the Raiders did what I believe most teams are going to do. They shut down the run game. You shut down the run game, Baker Mayfield is not equipped to carry that team to a win. I just don't believe he is. I think he is a mediocre quarterback on his best days. I don't think he makes big throws. I don't think that Baker Mayfield can win you a game, but I think Baker Mayfield can lose you a game. So I think as long as they continue to do what they're doing and run the ball well and do those things, short passing routes, things of that nature, utilizing your tight ends, rolling them out of the pocket. He can't throw in the pocket. He's not Drew Brees. Drew Brees is a small guy that can throw out of the pocket and throw out of the pocket pretty well. Baker Mayfield is not that. He doesn't make the best decisions. He doesn't have the right mindset to be that guy. He needs to roll out of the pocket so he can see the field better. Because he's short. I mean, listen, he's 6 foot tall or less, and he's standing behind a bunch of guys that are 6'2", 6'3", 6'4".
Right.
So the reality of it is that it's a disadvantage. You know, he rolls out of the pocket. He throws on the run pretty well.
Right.
But he's had to.
Right.
Because he stopped growing at a certain point and other people didn't. So he's had to be able to throw on the run. So he does that pretty well. I think if Stefanski gets him outside of the pocket a little more, it will definitely be an advantage for him. But again, he's not Russell Wilson. So I don't want to hear – I get tired of hearing the rhetoric of, well, you don't have to be tall. You don't have to be tall. But if you're not exceptionally tall as a quarterback, you have to be exceptionally talented. Drew Brees is 6 foot, maybe a little shorter than 6 foot even.
Okay.
He's an immensely talented. He's got great arm talent. He's got a great. It's like he sees the game, and he sees what's going to happen before it happens, as opposed to being in the moment. Like he knows how to read things a little bit better. Russell Wilson, fantastic quarterback, under 6 foot tall. Russell Wilson, it can run. He can throw. He can do everything. He makes, for the most part, he had a terrible game today, but he makes, for the most part, great decisions. Kyler Murray, I think he's 5'10". Like, he's exceptionally short. But the thing with Kyler Murray is he's super athletic. Baker Mayfield is not super athletic. I mean, it is the truth, though. I mean, so that's why I say, like, I'm not knocking on the guy, whatever. Say what you want about any of it, really, but it has nothing to do with his height. It's the fact that he's not as talented as everybody he's put up to be.
Okay. Well,
coming out of college, it was, well, he's going to be the next Drew Brees, or he'll be the next Russell Wilson. He'll be this, he'll be that.
I don't know about all that. I don't know. I mean, I'd like to hope that he, his game, gets to that level, but as long as he keeps putting W's in the column, man, I don't care. I don't care who you compare him to. You know what I'm saying? Just put a win in the column, and that'll speak for itself. You know what I mean? All
I'm trying to say is that the Browns are putting wins in the columns, but it's not because Baker Mayfield is playing exceptional. He's a manager. He's a team manager. People hate that. Quarterbacks hate to be called manager. Go out there and manage the game.
And he's doing that. He's doing it well. And his store is making money.
Well, listen,
his store is getting paid.
I'm gonna give immense credit to the offensive line.
Yeah. To
the running backs. And
we needed that line for quite some time, man, for the past 12 years, and now we got it. They did good.
And I'm gonna give a lot of credit to Kevin Stefanski and the offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
For putting together a good game plan.
Yeah.
And let's not sleep on the defense now. The defense is good.
They did their thing. They held them to nothing for the longest. So yeah.
Miles Garrett is a beast. So
and you're a critic. So coming from you, Browns family, listen to me. That is a compliment. You see his hat? Yeah. So right that's a compliment for him to say that. All right.
So definitely. But hey, listen, I'm happy for him. I'm happy that they're 6-3. It's funny because the NFC or the AFC North has a chance to have 3 playoff teams in it, which is good for the division. The only team that's not going to cut the mustard at this point is my beloved Bengals. But they are, I'm
impressed by them too.
They're well on their way. Joe Burrow, for a rookie quarterback, oh my goodness. He is, listen, I was never a fan of Andy Dalton. I hope he's recovering well at this point. He got hit pretty hard playing in Dallas. So. But I was never a fan of Andy Dalton.
Yeah.
I thought he was just a little too reckless. Kind of Carson Wentz in Philly kind of reminds me of that. Just a little too reckless. But Joe Burrow seems to be he's a good ball player. He's got a good arm, got a good head on his shoulders. He's athletic. He's He's what you need in an NFL quarterback now. So
Okay.
I think he's got a bright future. I think the Bengals have a bright future. Hopefully AJ Green holds on and, comes back to be the receiver that he was previously.
Okay.
But the AFC North is solid. The Ravens are solid. I think the league is starting to come around to figuring out Lamar Jackson, though.
Okay.
So he's going to have to change up, they're going to have to change up their game plan a little bit. John Harbaugh is going to have to change the way things are run a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just, you can't run the option play every play and, triple option and just hope that he hits the right guy. They're starting to figure that out, so that's good. The Steelers are, I think, 9-0 now, and that kills me to say. I just don't like the Steelers.
Yeah.
There's that.
Niebuhr.
Okay, listen. So we're gonna stay in sports, but I want to turn it a different direction.
Okay.
Because I want to talk about what other job you can have where you can have been suspended, I think twice now. I think we touched on this with Josh Gordon previously, but I'm not talking about Josh Gordon now.
Okay. So the question is, what other job could you have been suspended twice?
You've been suspended once for sure, twice possibly. You still have sexual assault allegations hanging over your head and domestic abuse allegations hanging over your head.
Oh, easy.
And you can go and sign a contract to play on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with Tom Brady and that ridiculous slew of weapons that they have.
Okay.
My question is this. It's a two-part question.
Okay.
So obviously, I'm talking about high-profile jobs.
I can answer the question.
Okay, go ahead.
Some people might not like my answer, but it's strictly my opinion.
The President of the United States? Well, that's my opinion. The current President of the United
That's
States.
number two.
Okay.
High-profile job where you can do all of that and still keep your job. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But on average, a police officer.
That's
beyond true. It's a police officer. Because if you can get away with shooting somebody and still keep your job.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. If he beat his wife or she pistol whip her husband, and she's still going to work, she might get suspended, but she still got a job.
Yeah,
So,
I think you're right.
That part.
You're right in that. Now, I guess that one.
So why should football be in any other exception?
Well, it's just baffling to me that the NFL did so much to, like with Ray Rice. Ray Rice was never able to play again after the video came out of him knocking out and dragging his girlfriend or whatever out of the elevator.
Well, you know what? I don't know if you're a firefighter or an EMS worker. I don't know if you keep your job in that same, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know my point is I don't know if you could do that in basketball or baseball. I've never heard of it. Have you?
No. I don't, without doing any research, I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
I can't think of nothing off the top of my head either.
Well, okay, but then you've got Pete Rose who bet on the game.
Oh yeah,
and is still not allowed in the Hall of Fame.
Oh man,
figure that one out. One of the best hitters to ever play baseball can't be in the Hall of Fame. He's got the record, I think, for the most hits.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, and then
But I want to know why Antonio Brown is in the league. Let's get back to brass tacks. I want to know why Antonio Brown. This man did nothing to help his cause. It's one thing if you mess up and you try to show some sort of reform or whatever, even if it's just for the cameras, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I'll give it to you. Go ahead and do what you got to do.
Okay.
But how are you... I don't understand how an organization can allow Antonio Brown to be part of that organization. especially like Tampa Bay. It's not like Tampa Bay was hurting for receivers.
Yeah.
So they just add it. I mean, I get it. You you get it cheap off the market. The guy signs a 1-year deal, and if he messes up at all, he's gone. Cool, whatever. Like I'm all for second chances or third chances, and I think that there are certain situations like the Josh Gordon situation. That's a young man that needs some serious help. Antonio Brown is a young man that needs some serious help, but for different reasons.
Okay.
For different reasons. You know, Josh Gordon has a drug problem. Okay? And it goes beyond just marijuana. All right? I don't think that
really?
marijuana should keep you out of the league, but I believe it goes beyond just marijuana.
Oh,
Okay?
I never knew that.
He gets into other stuff. But
yeah, I never knew that. Yeah.
That's a young man that needs some serious help because he's got an addiction.
Cleveland, we had a few players that got caught doing going to the projects and copping some work, so I understand that.
There was an alleged incident with Baker Mayfield behind some sort of
Yeah,
Who
and
knows?
at the time, when a lot of that stuff was going on, I was working security down at the stadium at the time, you know, and even with a record for a minute. So don't say it can't be done, y'all. That's the good in the hood. If you want it, you can get it. And but with that being said, yeah, the guy. I mean, he's a good guy. We weren't really allowed to
Josh Gordon
fraternize
Baker?
with Baker Mayfield.
Okay.
You know, when they were in talks trying to get him, as far as I knew, he was you know, as far as I know, he was cool. But what's the other guy? The other guy that got traded. I forget. We had so many quarterbacks, man. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It's been a revolving door.
Yeah, but we've had some quarterbacks that and some running back. I'll say this: we've had some players on the squad that have not been prime examples. I'll put it like that.
There's
They have
one
not
right
been
now.
prime examples.
There's one right now.
Of what you should and should not do.
Right.
You know,
The
at
Browns-
least keep it in control. Like, you know, don't let it get out of hand.
Well,
I
the
guess.
Browns acquired Kareem Hunt
Mm.
because of that. He was suspended from the league for I can't remember. I think he kicked a woman or whatever.
Oh, man.
And no, I mean, listen, it was a physical altercation, and
Did she kick him?
I don't know. She
Okay.
hit him in some way, shape, or form. I don't know exactly
Okay.
what the story was, but
Well,
you
my
have
mama
that.
told
He's
me,
back in the league.
anybody hit you, you hit him back. Man, woman, or child. I grew up like that, so
Well, I mean, it is.
that's why
I think it's important.
That's why I got a record.
I think it's important that
Don't hit me in there. I hit you back and you call the police on me.
well, okay,
I'm
so
a little guy. You hit the little guy first.
there,
You went in your mouth and you got mad. Call the police.
if you as a man, I think we have a responsibility to maybe handle ourselves a little better.
Yeah.
Because
I try and stay away from violence now.
there
Flat out.
are very few, and I'm not saying all women, and I'm not saying this is all cases, but I know that for the most part, a man can overpower the woman that he's with, and I mean, there's ways of controlling the situation without, striking. I guess you have to get physical. Like, listen, if my wife, and I love her to death, but if she attacked me, I'm gonna restrain her.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have to knock her out, but I can restrain her.
Yeah.
But that's really not the topic. That's not the direction I wanted to go at all.
Yeah,
I guess.
no.
But it is.
But I mean, especially if you dating somebody that, male or female, that has been trained to beat you down, and they get upset about whatever you're doing, and they beat you down, or you beat them down in self-defense because you may have had that same training, then hey, but I'm gonna say this, man, and I'm the hood Diddy himself, all right? I'm out.
The Houdini. Yeah,
I'm
no.
I'm out. Look, I shouldn't have to beat you to keep you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If I gotta beat you
Write that
to
down. Put
keep
it on a
you,
t-shirt. I shouldn't have to beat you to
I
keep
shouldn't
you.
have to beat you to keep you. Hey, they'll coming soon. Beat you to keep you. We reserve the rights for that.
We
By the good in the hood. Don't y'all steal that.
I think that yeah, I mean, listen, we hold a certain responsibility.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a man that's my size. Like, it's different to I'm 6 foot 200 pounds. Like, I can restrain a lot of women. Not all women, but I can restrain a lot of women without having to get knocking them out or whatever. You are 4'11", 97 pounds soaking wet. I can see why you might struggle with that.
Hey, I was wrestling with a girl once and she flipped me. She flipped me. Yeah. Yeah. Bella flipped me. Bella flipped me. She said, I used to wrestle. I know you ain't wrestle. I thought she was lying.
Well, she wasn't lying.
She wasn't lying. She wasn't lying. If that wasn't my homie, I'd have swung on her. Nah, but she flipped me though. I was like, girl, you can do that. Like, I was impressed. Like, okay.
We hold
so
a certain
she was
responsibility.
like, yeah, I can hold my own.
We hold a certain responsibility as men. But in the same token, if you're a woman, don't swing on a man like a man and expect him not to swing back.
Yeah, you gotta expect to. Yeah.
I'm not saying that he should. I'm just saying.
I ain't saying that he should neither.
It could happen.
It could happen. You know what I'm saying? Especially after you've insulted him, you've called him names, you called him everything in the book, and then you turn around and you put your hands on him.
Right. Well, at the end of the day, listen,
don't do that.
Yeah, at the end of the day, we're all humans.
Yeah, so everybody's human. Just because he's a man doesn't mean that he doesn't have emotions. You know, and that's something that the hood needs to recognize. You know, when I was coming up, you know, what went on in that house stayed in that house. You know what I'm saying? Because I've seen physical altercations between a male and a female. A male jumps in to try and break it up, and the male and the female ends up jumping the guy that tried to break it up and help the female. Beat him senseless. They both beat him. And she had on stilettos, and she stomped him. It was holes in his face, man, from them stilettos. It was holes in his face. They had to call the EMS, and, you know, it was bad. It was bad. But I don't mean to change the subject, but I think it's necessary. We just got to. This is a recent update from the Department of Health.
Okay.
All right. This was as of the 5th.
Well, that's not too recent.
No.
That's a.
Yeah, it was as of the 5th. What's today's date? The what?
15th. It was 10 days.
5th
ago.
day. Okay, so yeah, this was 10 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying between yesterday and today, so between the 4th and the 5th, health officials have reported a total of 4,961 new positive corona cases in Ohio, the highest number of new cases in a 24-hour period.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. That's been growing. That's why.
Yeah, it's been growing.
That's why we talk about we're coming in. You know, it's fall. We're coming into wintertime. There's all kinds of, you know, common colds, flus, things like that are going around too.
Yeah.
But if this COVID acts the same, I mean, why should we think that it's just going to disappear at this point? Like,
well, they're saying that there are currently 2,075 patients hospitalized with it, which is a 55% increase in hospitalized patients compared to 2 weeks prior. The hospitalized patients, 541 people are in intensive care.
mm-hmm.
Okay. The previous record for intensive care was 531. 533. So it's 541 and it was care. 533, but now it's 541. So Mike DeWine is really considering shutting it down, and Lieutenant Governor John Husted, they're considering it, man, and it will definitely be statewide. They're they're saying that there are 56 counties, and they're currently rated as having a very high risk of exposure and spread. And they're at a red level 3. And that was up from 43 counties last week. So we went from 43 counties to 56 counties now that are at a level 3. And that represented the highest number of levels in since, this whole thing started. So there's 86% of Ohioans that are living in a level red, a level 3, area.
Yeah.
Right now.
I think
So,
we're in a level 3 here in Summit County. Especially and that again, that article is what, 10 days old now. So
yeah, it's 10 days old now, and there
so
hasn't been an update.
it's not getting any better. Like,
No.
you got to understand that it's going to affect you. Chances are most people are probably going to get this thing before it's said and done. My hope and my prayer is that we're just smart about it. Let's try to do the things that we need to do. That's all we can do, I guess.
Yeah, it's 20,000 people that's been hospitalized. So, guys, hey, look, we want the hood good, and I implore you guys to wear a mask, be safe, okay? Keep everything clean. Go back out there, get that bleach, get that Lysol, even the knockoff brands, whatever. Okay. Wash regularly. Not just you, but the stuff that you come in contact with. Make sure you keep an eye on your children, where they going. Don't just let your kids at anybody's house just cause you wanna, do a little something with your significant other. You hear me?
Right.
You know?
Wait till they go to bed.
Yeah. Wait till they go to bed or something. Don't just send them out cause you want mommy and daddy night. All right. Don't do that. Even with family members and relatives, it has to be somebody that you constantly keep in contact with, on a regular basis, and you know what they do, you know where they are. For a while I was riding around like a, hood Uber, and I was making money doing it, but that stopped.
Yeah, look, and it is, I mean, it's somewhat inevitable, but we just have to do our part. Like, even if you take all the necessary precautions, there's still a good chance that it's going to come around. I mean, you can't avoid it fully unless you literally lock yourself in a room and don't go anywhere and don't come in contact with anybody. Yeah. Just be safe. That's all we're asking, is just be safe about it. So, we got a chance to talk with Shawn.
Yeah, man.
A rather lengthy conversation, but I think it's a necessary conversation that needed to be had. First of all, wonderful job on the interview. As you guys will see, Al took the reins on the interview for this because of his connection with Shawn. It made it easier to run the interview that way. And look, just because I'm the host doesn't mean that my face needs to be on the camera all the time. So we worked it out. We had him in via Zoom, which is, it's fantastic that we're able to get people in that way. Especially right now, we're talking about the COVID spikes and stuff
COVID
like that.
being around, man.
I don't want people in my personal studio if I don't need them here.
Yeah.
So.
And he just had a newborn baby, bro. So
yeah, that's there's too much risk involved there.
You got a newborn baby there, man. Like, no cooties, cootie free. Stay cootie free, y'all.
Right, but the conversation, we got a lot of good stuff, a lot of talking about what we can do to make the hood a better place, right?
Yeah.
What can we do to really put the good in the hood?
Yeah.
And Shawn is a wonderful, wonderful person. Comes from maybe a darker past, but at the same time, The darker the past, I believe, the brighter the light. When you decide to turn it around, you could make much more. You make a much bigger impact on a community if you are part of the community, and even more so if you grew up in the community and you became maybe somebody that was looked at negatively in the community, because now people can look at you and go, "Hey, look at this, turned around. He used to do all this, and now he's doing this."
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
he or she used to be on the corners selling drugs or
Oh yeah.
trying to get this, that, and the
Oh
other,
man.
and now they're in the community trying to
Yeah.
make it a better place. So
Yeah.
I love it. I love those kind of stories. I love those kind of comebacks. Every I've heard it before. It's something to the effect of every letdown is just setting you up for a bigger comeback.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my deepest gratitude for Shawn for coming on the show.
Yeah.
And spending an hour or so with us to have this conversation with him. Man.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it was definitely something awesome. And to be transparent here, guys, we record all our interviews before we record the show.
Yeah. Prior.
So we have an idea of what the topics are and where they're going and things like that. And really, we're trying to. I mean, listen, we can't pay guests to come on the show, so we're just trying to work around their schedule.
Yeah.
So whenever it's free, we shoot the interview and then we go ahead and shoot the episode around the interview.
Yeah.
And in this case, it works out, or it has worked out great. Our
Yeah.
interview with Vinny was that way. The only
Yeah.
exception to that, of course, was, no, we did it with Al also, or with Lights also.
Yeah.
When
yeah.
we had Lights in
yeah.
studio, we shot the interview before we did
Yeah.
the rest of the show. It just allows us to set it up better. So when you guys get it, you get the best possible content out of it, so that we get our message out, and our message is just that the Good in the Hood is all about people from the hood making a difference and making it a better place.
Yeah. That's it.
And Shawn is that guy.
Yeah. Wonderful gentleman, man. I knew his mom, man, and his mom, God rest her soul, passed away. But his mom was the type of woman that, literally, she helped raise me.
Mm.
His sister, Michelle, man, wonderful people, man. Wonderful people. His sister is married now with a good guy that stuck by her, and you know what I mean, and they got kids now, and it's just a wonderful thing. Like when we were kids, we dated and stuff, but her mom took care of me, man. Made sure that she treated me like I was one of her own.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So they like family. You know what I mean? And to see the transition, like he said, we've done some things, man. We've hustled
Right.
in the streets. We've made money. We had been shot at. We shot back. I ain't sugarcoat nothing. And the reason that I'm telling this is because now we didn't know what we know now back then.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know that there was somebody out there with hope.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I guess what I'm trying to say is that when all you see is negativity, and you see, okay, here's an example. I used to ride around with family members to the nice neighborhoods, around Christmas time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in my community, you don't see these big, nice houses like in Shaker and Cleveland Heights, and you know what I'm saying? Twinsburg, these very big houses, nice houses and whatnot. Out in Talmadge, you don't nice homes, right?
Right.
And now the only people I saw in the hood that was making money when I was coming up was pimps, drug dealers, prostitutes, and corner store owners.
Right.
Them was the only people, and landlords. Them was the only people that I saw making money. So I figured that's how they made their money. That's how they made their money. So growing up, it was a matter of, okay, those are one of the occupations that I need to look into to get, okay, so that I can get one of those nice big houses.
Right.
You see? I was never exposed to going to a doctor's office and seeing what a doctor does. I was never brought down to the courthouse to see how an attorney or a judge runs a courtroom. I didn't know that that's how you can really obtain money legally.
Right.
You see? Because I knew nothing about that. I was a kid.
Right.
I was a teenager. And as I became older in my teenage years, I didn't care. Like, I didn't care because now that I see how to make money illegally, it's easy. It's easy. Look, they said back in the day, and I didn't listen. Now that I'm older, now I'm that older guy saying that, you know, all money ain't good money. And I remember my grandmama telling me that. And she said, baby, all money ain't good money. And I said, Grandma, I ain't met a bad $5 bill yet.
Yeah.
I ain't understand it, man. But now that I'm older, I get it.
Right.
I get it. And you even enlighten me on some things in regards to that area. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I had to change, man. By the grace of God, I'm blessed to where I ain't about that life no more. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I still uphold certain values and morals, and I'm going to represent those for the greater good. But when it comes to scoring our community, I ain't that dude no more.
Right. Yeah, it's not worth it.
It's not.
It's not worth it. The risk reward factor is just not. It's not there.
I'm gonna tell you how you helped me. You sent me a text one day when we were starting J&R restorations, right? And you said, this is an opportunity for us to do something good because we've done so much bad in our life. Why not open the door for something better? I'll never forget that quote. It's still in my phone. Still in my phone. You see? You feel me?
After all the bad we've done, this is our opportunity to do good.
Yeah. 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 Bless you for that, bro.
And that is, and I appreciate that. And that is, but it's the truth. I mean, and it's funny that I said that about J&R, but that holds true for Good in the Hood.
Man.
That holds true for Boots on the Ground.
Man.
I mean,
you better say that.
When I put my foot into something, as they say, I know that's a kitchen term, but whatever.
No, go on, put your foot in. Go on, put your foot in.
When I put my foot into something, though, it is just that, you know. It's like, this is a passion,
right?
So, everything that I do on my own, or that I start not on my own, but for myself or for my family, and Shawn touched on this too. It's a passion, right? Yeah. It's not about how much money I'm gonna make, because I'm gonna make money somewhere, somehow.
Yeah, somewhere, somehow.
I've got enough skills, me personally. Yeah. I guess I have enough skills that I don't have any trouble making an honest buck. Yeah. So, when I'm passionate about something, it's all about making a difference. It's all about making a difference for the better. Yeah. Because I've done a lot of dirt and I've hurt a lot of people. And all I want to do is try to rectify that by, I can't go back to everybody that I've hurt and rectify that specific situation or whatever. Yeah. But I can consciously, going forward, try to do better by people. So that's really what it is. That's really what I'm about. Yeah. That doesn't always work out for me. Right. Sometimes I have a bit of an anger issue. Sometimes I say things without thinking. But at the end of the day, man.
Only when you're working on a car. Yeah. That's true. You bust a knuckle, you throw it a wrench, Jack.
Yeah, that's true. That's funny. I don't mind busting a knuckle if it busts, it breaks the nut loose. But if the nut doesn't break loose, it starts to strip out. No, yeah. No, but I mean, you know how it is though. You just all
That's funny.
all we're
Funny.
here to try to do, at the Good in the Hood is to um just to kind of turn that ship around, man.
Yeah.
Give
Yeah.
ourselves the opportunity and give other people the opportunity to do right by people
Yeah.
when maybe
Now
they haven't,
it was a point in time where we was able to create jobs for a few people, working on a couple projects that really needed a little paper, and as opposed to um taking money from somebody that in exchange for something else that's doing them physical harm
Right,
um, and financial harm. We're not doing that now.
right,
We're doing something different. We're doing it the way it should have been done in the first place. Like Shawn uh, is gonna inform you guys of. Um, you know, don't teach your children to work for a corporation, but teach them to be the corporation. So
right,
now we're trying to be that corporation so that our children already has the knowledge of how that corporation is ran,
right,
you know.
right. Yeah,
Um,
that's a big thing, man.
yeah,
We've spoken about that,
yeah,
just with JNR. Like,
yeah.
one day the kids are gonna take it over.
Yeah, they're gonna take it over.
I'm gonna
They're gonna
be. I
take it
mean,
over.
it's gonna happen faster for you than me, but we're gonna be too old and broken to keep doing what we're doing. So somebody else is gonna have to step up and do it, and that's gonna be the kids.
It's yeah, yeah. It's
Um,
just they'll be fine. They'll
right,
be
right.
able to take the reins. Especially my nephew. You know what I'm saying? My nephew, I think he gonna be the foreman of the spot, man.
Hey,
You know what I'm
listen,
saying?
he
I
he
think
fixed his
Zay will
sister's
be in the
door for
front
me.
office.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the girls they gonna definitely be in the office.
I
Lala,
wouldn't put it
Leah.
past. I wouldn't put it past. I wouldn't put it past a couple of my girls to be hands on with it either. So we'll
Yeah,
see. Only
Bella.
time
I
will
could see
tell.
Bella with a hammer. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I could see her.
Only time will
Yeah,
tell.
yeah. Only time will
But I'm
tell.
gonna
Yeah.
let you go ahead and take us into the interview, man. Go ahead and introduce Shawn and tell us a little bit about him.
All right. We got we got we got a good guy, man. Shawn Stover. He's an excellent dude when it comes to community activism. Uh, he he tries to enlighten people on how to better live their lives. Okay, his background in social work, from um, Lorain County Community College, and I think it's Urbane or Urbana University. He attended there for social work. So, and this all of this after having a record. The guy's a phenomenal gentleman, and check out the interview and see for yourself. Judge yourself. I'd like to introduce to y'all Mr. Shawn Stover.
Hey, now.
Man, I'm glad to have you here, brother. It's
I'm, it's,
good,
it's good to be
man.
here. It's good to be here. It's good to be here.
Boy, I'm excited about the show.
I'm
I'm
anxious,
excited.
real anxious.
Look, hey, let's start off by telling the audience a little bit about yourself, man.
Okay. Well, uh, we start off with a little bit about myself. But I think you asked me before. It's like you wanted me to tell people what drives me, and what drives me is doing the right thing and having integrity and being loyal to whatever you're doing.
Mm,
Um, uh, that's just me in a nutshell. That's just who I am and who I want to be and who I want my children to be. Probably most importantly, you
right,
know, to
right.
leave a legacy behind, for them to leave a legacy behind.
All right. So that makes you the friendly neighborhood brother man, then, huh?
You know that. Yes, sir.
All right,
I
that's
am
what's
the
up.
friendly
That's what's up.
neighborhood brother.
That's what's up. So, yo, your accolades, man, consist of social work, right?
Yeah. I studied a little bit of social work,
Okay.
and business management.
All right.
We can continue doing that and see where that's gonna take me to.
Okay. Where you study at? What
Uh,
universities?
Urbana University
Mm-hmm.
and a little bit at Lorain County Community College there for a little while also.
Okay. Okay. Love it out there in Lorraine. They doing good
Hmm.
things out there for sure. For sure.
Right.
Um. The man, I really wanted to talk to you about, you know, what can we do? What can we do? You know, to make the community better. Um. With your background in social work and being a community activist, man, I know that you most often than not on the front lines there in the land, seeing um, a lot of brothers and sisters fall down of all different colors.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you know, how could you make what I mean? What's your ideas on a good neighborhood? What
I
can
have to share.
change?
I just saw this afternoon,
Hmm.
and not only did I see it once, I
Hmm.
saw it twice.
Okay.
It's been real windy here in the Cleveland area, right?
Right.
And
Right.
me and my wife were on our way to the grocery store, pick up some supplies.
Okay.
And some tree limbs and branches was in the middle of the ground, in the middle of the street,
Okay.
and somebody put on his emergency lights,
Okay.
his hazards, got out and cleared the street. And I was thinking about how real is that? Could if more people in the hood did that, not only that do I need to pass, other people need to pass too. So let me clear that path. And I thought that was one of the realest things I had
Mm.
seen today. We went to the store, did our shopping, was coming back.
Hmm.
Somebody else doing the same thing. And whoever those brothers were, I commend them for that. I
Right.
commend them highly for that.
Right. 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 My brother and myself, I believe it was last episode was talking about, you know, keeping our communities clean and trying to show that, you know, um basically that a hood is a mindset, it's a community, it's a way of
Mhm.
life, you know.
It
It
takes a
doesn't have to
village
be
to
a ghetto.
raise a child. It
Right.
takes a village to raise a child, and even though as old as I am, I'm still somebody's child also.
Right.
So somebody has to take care of me, and in turn, I take care of somebody else too. I think that's a problem. Maybe we have lost out here where we were held accountable for each other. It was if Miss Ruby saw me down the street messing up, you can best believe she was gonna go back and tell my mom. So
Right. Right. Yeah.
we've lost that. We've totally and completely out of that now.
Yeah. 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 You're right. You're right. Now,
Yeah.
excuse me. Uh I know it's a lot of people out there that is probably wondering um what qualifies you. And I think your history, you know, your history as far as the things that you've done in the past have been life changing. One of them having a number, you know.
Yeah. 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 Two of
Um,
them, in fact.
um, talk to the audience a little bit about that.
Okay. Well, you bump your head, and it's either you nurse the wound and keep on moving, or you feel pity for yourself.
Mm,
And we not gonna pity. There's no pity here. You have to keep on moving. You have to keep on going, and you got
hmm.
to help people. You got to put yourself out there and to let it be known that um, you're here in an official capacity to help people and not be gone or lost out there, just leaving people behind. I think that's important too.
Mm,
What qualifies me is I care about people.
that's what's
Um,
up.
I wish I could snap my fingers and I wish I could Thanos and snap the universe in the way how I want it. No more racism, no more homelessness,
Mm,
global warming. But we know that's impossible. So what we have to do is me and you have to have this this verbal intercourse right now, and maybe it is sticking somebody's ear, and somebody help us do something, or we'll help ourselves to do even more.
That's what's up. Oh my gosh, yeah, man. And this is we're spiritual people, but it's not a spiritual based show,
Sure.
and this I want the audience to know, you know what I'm saying, that myself and my brother, um uh we belong to a Christianity type background, okay?
Right,
So
right,
We're
just for the
followers of
audience to know.
Christ, is what he's trying to
Right.
say.
right,
And
right.
and you are a all around type dude. But last I heard, I know you was involved in Islam a little
Right,
bit,
right.
and the point that I'm trying to make in that regard is, we've always had love for each other despite the Christianity or Muslim thing. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So with that being said, I can reassure our listeners that, no matter what background you come from, you still can
It's
come
brotherhood.
together
It's
and do
brotherhood.
something good in the hood. Yeah, yeah,
If you call me, I'm on my way.
Yeah, I remember, look, I remember being stranded in Cleveland, and um I ended up pressing my luck, had money in my pocket, had a few dollars. But I pressed my luck and I was somewhere and I ran out of gas. All right.
Mhm.
And I didn't have a gas can.
Right.
And I called you. I told you, hey, G, I'm down here on such and such in Union. I
Mm-hmm.
said, whatever happened, anything happened,
Right.
this is where I'm at. I called my
Right.
brother. I said, bruh, I'm down here. My brother came all the way from AK and came and got me and brought me back, and that's when I called you and let you know. So,
Right. Right.
I'm saying that because I know it holds true, and I'm
Right.
gonna say
I,
that on
I,
the air. I'm
I
gonna
stood,
publicize
I
that.
stood on the ready. I stood on the ready. That's what
Yeah,
you do for your brother.
yeah,
Well,
yeah. True story.
want for your brother what you want for yourself.
That's what's up. Now,
you know.
now, speaking
Right.
of what wanting something for your brother that you want for yourself, what's your opinion on raising kids? I know you got a newborn baby. Congratulations on that. Hey,
Thank you. Thank you, brother.
congratulations.
Thank you. Um. My opinion on raising kids, it's a team effort. It's got to
Mhm.
be a team effort. Um, Mom and daddy got to do this together. They got to do it together. It's
Mhm.
you have to work on what's the methods of what's your methods of discipline are going to be. What school we gonna send them to? What values and ethics are we gonna teach our children?
Right.
And I believe I meshed with my wife just perfectly on how we gonna raise ours and ours together. So,
That's
uh,
what's up.
yeah.
Okay. What's your opinion on punishing your children, like spanking your kids? What you think about
Um,
that? It's been a lot of things said in regards to that. What's your take on it?
I think it's a parental preference.
Mhm.
But there are laws and guidelines in effect. You can't go past or beyond that.
Right.
But I don't spank my children.
Mhm.
But in some instances, it could be necessary. It could
Mhm.
be necessary. But that's we talking about. I'm starting at A, and we gonna go with the discipline. So far as punishment, and Z is when we spank the children. This is when you've tried exhausted all other avenues. So
Right.
And
Right.
how you doing, Sean? It's Justin
yes,
here.
sir.
I just want
Hey,
to,
Justin.
as a father, I want to just kind of reiterate that point. Like you can't just go straight to spanking your kids. Like,
No,
first of
no,
all, that's not effective. All that does is teach violence.
it
Mhm.
does not work. Right. This
Second
this
of
is
all,
right.
they have to understand. Children have to understand that, and it's our job as parents to teach them
Mhm.
that you have consequences for your actions, and
Mm-hmm.
those consequences, the more you do the same, if you keep messing up in the same way, those consequences are going to get worse. So if you
Yep.
start with spanking your kids, where you go from there, you
Mm.
know what I mean?
Right.
Like, for us, I mean, we have kind of a tree that goes down, that we start with talking to them. and then maybe our we talk nicely at first, and then it gets a
Mm-hmm.
little more
Yeah.
stern, and then
It would.
um,
It escalates.
yeah, and I mean, listen, we're human, so we get frustrated. Sometimes it's not
Right.
always that tree, but it's never spanking first. Like,
No, never.
I just wanted to reiterate that for our listeners because
All right.
it's important to
Mm-hmm.
understand that you gotta have levels to it. It's a lot
Mm-hmm.
like the justice system. Like
Mm-hmm.
if you get caught with drugs the first time, you might go to rehab,
Right.
maybe even the second or third time. But
Mm-hmm.
then they're gonna start looking at it and
Repeated
go, "All
offenses.
right,
Yeah.
listen,
Repeated
you're obviously
offenses.
not learning." So
Yeah.
Yeah. You didn't learn anything. We gotta. We gotta.
um,
Like that in the one movie, he say it's gonna be consequences and repercussions.
Yeah.
right. I feel like we say that a lot as parents.
Right.
And
Right.
congratulations on that. How many other kids do you have? Is it just the one?
I have 4 daughters.
Four
Yeah.
daughters. Wow.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was his first son.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First
We-
son.
Pretty cool.
We have-
to be well over 40 to get my first son.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's all right, bruh. It's all
Sir,
right.
thank you.
It's all right. So with the spanking thing, we've come to that conclusion that it's not necessary all the time in every situation. But what steps do we take, to keep our children out of the system, man?
Where do I start with that? It starts at home. It starts at home. You've got to be able to teach your children the consequences, and they're going to be consequences and repercussions.
Yeah.
And I think once again we've lost sight of that. There's no more big mamas. The father's not in the home no more. Which the father used to be the disciplinarian. There was plenty of times when my mom threatened me with my dad.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't want to see that guy. I don't want to see that guy.
Right.
So it's straighten up and fly right. First thing I do is something I do is like I start with a punishment. There's things that you like to do because I think this is what reflects to us in the world. They don't just put you in jail and beat you up. That's why I think spanking in some cases with children is obsolete. When you mess up in the world now, like Brother Justin was saying, it's probation. It's that slap on the wrist. It's the nice talk. Then the talking gets more stern.
Yeah.
Then we start to take away. Okay, let me get that telephone. Let me get that tablet. Let me get that laptop. No television. Oh yeah, no video games. So you got to start taking away from the stuff that they like and set them up as the consequences and repercussions. And you got to set up reward systems too. I think setting up a reward system. Okay, you got A's here. You wanted that X, Z,
Right.
and or reward. So here you go. But we also have to know as parents that we can't be bought either though. I'm not trying to buy your love and or affection either.
Right.
Or I don't discipline you because I don't like you.
Right.
And so that's my point.
Got you. Nah, man. Hey, let it flow. Let it flow. Look, I'm sure everybody is listening and because it's some parents out there, I tell you what, they
Have
need
no
parenting
clue.
classes for real. Because they have no clue. They have no clue. I got another question for you. All right.
Sir.
I saw a post that you had that inspired me, and this is one of those things that made me really want to see if you would come and do our show, man. And the post said, don't teach your children to work for a corporation, okay, but be the corporation. Could you elaborate a little more on that concept?
I believe it kind of speaks for itself. I I don't want my children to have to go through the daily things that I have to go through. I got to go out here and bust my back, bust my behind, uh, and while the owner of the company walks away with the lion's share.
Right,
That's
gotcha.
what I was talking about at the top of the show. It's like I want to be able to leave my children a legacy. So therefore, me and my wife been coming up with different plans of what we gonna do or how we gonna do this to leave a legacy behind of our own. Well, I'm tired of working for other people. So therefore, I don't want my children to have to work for anybody. I want them to be the ones when they're the corporation, they writing the checks and not cashing them.
Hey, now that's hot. Now that leads me into the next thing that
Okay,
I had
so,
hollered at you about prior to the
okay.
show, and you told me about tell the audience about your concept of staffing agencies, bruh. You said you wanted to start your own business,
Right,
you know,
but
because
it's
me and my brother, we got a couple businesses. You know, we
right.
slow for the
Yeah,
pole right now, but
it's once again when we talk about the lion share, it's legalized pimping. You know, the lioness goes out, she does all the hunting, bring the meat back, but then the lion can just trot on in, get what he wants, and y'all can have the scraps in the refuse. And me, I'm tired of being the lioness. I want to be the lion. I want to be the pimp of the jungle. That's, you know, you're not the king of the jungle. You're the pimp of the jungle. He don't got to do nothing but collect his. That's it.
that's it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, bro. I think we in the wrong business, man. I think we need a temp agency too, cause he kind of
Right.
right. We sit in the
Right.
office all day and collect some
Maybe
money.
the good in
Mm-hmm.
the hood sounds pretty good for a tech agency.
Yeah,
Too.
yeah,
We just
yeah.
have
We'll
our
call it.
Yeah.
That's but you're right. You're right in the sense, Sean, that working for other people, it's got its good and its bads, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like when you work for other people, you go home, you punch in, you punch out, you got to deal with everybody else's mess.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't gotta. You go home, you lay your head down. You're not thinking about what's going on at work, outside of work.
yeah.
Right.
As a business owner, it's a little bit different because your
Boy.
entire day and thought process consists
Consists
of
of-
what can we do? You know,
Man.
what am I going to do tomorrow to make more money? What am I going to do to get this job done? What can we do to move on? Can I take on another job if I
Yeah.
don't have enough people? How am I going to get the
Right,
people if I don't have
right.
the money?
Yup.
So it's
It's yeah,
there's a lot that goes into it. So
yeah.
it takes it really does take a certain kind of person though to
Mhm.
step up and be able to. You got to be a leader and an effective leader. Like
Right.
anybody with money can come up with a business, right?
Mhm.
Anybody without money can come up with a business.
Yeah.
But you got to be a leader. You got to be able to effectively lead people into
I
what
agree.
you're doing.
I agree.
You know, it's almost like a military mindset. You know,
Mhm.
you got to be out there and you got to be the general. And
You got to be Jennifer Petraeus.
right. You gotta make sure that your people are in the right place.
Mm-hmm.
I got just one more. I got one more question for you.
Okay.
Al's got more for you, I'm sure.
Yeah,
But
man. I want to pick his brain.
for my,
Right.
so we're talking. We kind of got into talking about working for yourself, but let's talk about leadership for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
As a leader in your community, right? How can you help people that are stuck in the system, that are struggling, whatever? And I'm talking about adults, not necessarily kids,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah.
adults that have already started their path into the system, young adults.
Mm-hmm.
Good question.
How can we turn them around, or help turn them around? I mean, I guess ultimately it's up to them, and you know their mindset at the end of the day. But what are some things that we can do in the community to help turn those lives around?
The very first thing that I would do is use myself as an example.
Yeah.
If you sit and speak to me, you can put me in any arena, and I'll fare well.
Mm.
But there have been times where I didn't fare well. And we get back to me bumping my head. You get those bumps and those bruises, and by me being a leader, I would show them those examples that here's where I messed up, and don't take this road. This road will only lead you to perdition. It's that me being a leader, if I was thrust into a leadership position, would be the very first thing is don't go down the road I went down. And now that I'm a little older, OG status even.
OG status? Yes, sir.
Yeah, let me show you how a real OG does this.
Yeah.
Original genius.
Tell the truth.
Because you get beat up enough times and you don't want to keep doing this.
Yeah, man.
That's what I
done that myself. And I'm really appreciative at the fact that the steps you took,
I'm trying, brother.
allowed you to propel yourself to a higher plateau,
I'm
a higher
trying, man.
hiatus. You know what I'm saying?
I
And
am.
that's what's up. So yeah, your story would be a great story for a book. Along
Yeah,
with my
we didn't
own.
came a long way.
Yeah, man, we came a long way.
Remember, not too long ago, I was beating on the other side of trying to get your attention.
Yeah. Been there, done that. And and the food's not good, guys. For y'all that don't know, food ain't good at all. And where we was at, bro, they was throwing people off of the top ranges.
Yeah.
And
You like salt and pepper in your food? Not there.
You ain't getting none of that.
Yeah, no.
None of that. Nah. Hey, so we talked about how, to keep our youth and some of our young adult men out of the system. Let's take a moment and talk about our female community, man. You spoke to me about Obamacare and what is it? The Lead Better bill?
The Lily Ledbetter.
Okay, Lily
Yeah,
Ledbetter.
he signed the bill saying that women equal pay for equal work,
Okay.
which is commendable. You need to do that, hands down.
Okay.
Women are people too. You know what I'm saying?
Right. They can do the same thing.
There's a lot of single mothers out there that have to do the same things.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, up
Yeah.
to now, really haven't gotten paid the same.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
That's true.
Right. What is it? What is it? 70 cents on the dollar or something?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what it was. Yeah, something like that.
Okay. That sounds like 70% slavery to me.
Yeah, I
You
feel
know?
it. I feel it.
Yeah. The rest of the 30%, I get to keep that. That's lovely. That's cool. And that's foul in the same sense that women say that they want equality, fought for equality, women's suffrage, and then when they got it, you still found a loophole to cheat them. Not right.
Ooh, yeah. I never thought about it that way, man, at all. So what's up with the women screaming, independence and
I'm independent.
they independent,
But they got Section 8 though.
yeah.
Yeah, they got Section 8. You depending on the government, but you got Section 8 though.
And that's
Okay, yeah, you got a 2018 Ford Focus.
But you living in the project.
Yeah, but you stay in the projects though. You getting low income housing, Section 8 heat.
And I'm not knocking y'all.
I'm not
projects.
knocking projects.
I don't want y'all blowing up my email.
I live in the projects.
Right.
I
I
live
done
in
seen
projects.
some nice houses in the projects and wondered how your house gets so dang nice looking on the inside.
I think
White
what people
on white
forgot to do-
carpet. I'm looking like, man.
Yeah.
They had the white colored carpet. They had, and guess what?
The kind you got to take your shoes off.
Yeah, man.
And they give you sock covers when you walk in.
Yeah.
Right.
I
Right.
was like, how you living like this in the project?
Yeah.
Right.
I'm like, you fancy.
Because they don't pay all their bills.
Yeah, no, but you know what? That's our tax dollars. You know, yours, my brother's, mine. That's our tax dollars that's paying into that program. Now, you're right. You're right. I believe that should be just a stepping stone onto something greater like home ownership.
Right. Know? Even with people who collect food stamps now, you can only get it for 36 months. If you can't correct yourself in 36, 48, 60 months, 5 years, we giving you 5 years for free. That's just like we've heard this. We've often heard this. Foreigners come from overseas, and for 7 years they don't have to pay taxes. Right. I don't know who that is, but if it was based off of that same concept, that I get 5 years that I can get myself together, that would increase the economy. It would increase it would increase people's social status, because that's what a lot of people love to do. They want to look better in front of everybody. Right. That's my opinion. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that opinion.
It would increase the quality of life for a lot of people.
So let me play devil's advocate for a minute,
sir.
So you get approved for Section 8 housing, okay, and you are paying whatever the minimum payment is, or nothing, I guess, whatever it is. I don't know. I don't know the ins and outs of it. I know that some people have to pay, you know, a certain amount every month.
Yeah, that's low income housing. They pay a certain percentage, but
that's with Section 8 too.
Section 8 will pay your entire rent.
$100, and you only got to give them $25.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Okay, so
they'll pay your entire rent.
So here's the devil advocate part in all of this. You're getting all this assistance. You're getting all this help, right? Let's say even you're going to work, okay, and you're making, you know, at least a livable wage. But you can barely make enough. If you didn't have that help, you can barely make enough with your 40-hour job to pay for the house, if you got a car, for your insurance, for your gas and electric and your water bill. I mean, and barely, in some cases, you don't make enough.
A lot of people are scraping by.
True.
Yeah,
that's true.
Right.
So when you get that assistance, even food assistance, that's in some cases that's a $600 bill a month that you don't have to pay. Okay, and if you're getting $600 a month in food stamps, it's because you got quite a few people living in your house.
Yeah, about $150 a week. Okay.
Yeah. And you are, you know, that's a bill you don't have to worry about. That's money you don't have to worry about coming out of your pocket. Okay, so that allows you to, around this time of year, it allows you to get, you know, your kids' Christmas stuff. It allows you, you know, birthdays come around. It allows you in the summertime to maybe take vacations if we're not on lockdown. You know, it kind of allows you to do certain things that realistically, if you're working 40 hours, you should be able to do anyway.
Yeah, you should be able to do that working 40 hours anyway.
But a lot of times you can't. Okay, listen, I'm going to use myself as an example, okay? Even working at over $20 an hour, I had to scrape by to pay all the bills in my house. That's and $20 an hour is quite a bit. At least I thought so. And you know, now it's not. I guess it's not. But But you know that includes a car that I got to pay for. That includes, you know, and I got to pay for it because
is it possible a lot of people living beyond their...
Exactly, and I've learned that. Well, I don't live beyond my means anymore.
Well, and here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. It's easy for a single person to control that.
Yeah.
Okay. When you have a family, a large family. I mean, you said yourself you got 5 kids now.
Yeah.
Your sound went out. I'm sorry. Your sound went out for a few seconds.
Okay. Can you hear us now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. So you have a large family. You have 5 kids, right? So if I do the math correctly, that's 7 people in a house. If everybody's living in the house, right? So that's if you are the only one that's working. Because here's the other thing. People always say, well, you got to have two incomes in a house. Sure, absolutely, if you can.
That's how I
Mm-hmm.
made it.
But
Well, see, that's why was my point with these same women talking about they independent. They don't need a man, which in essence you really do. And then I want you to think about this too. If we gonna, I'll play devil's advocate. I'll hopscotch with the devil's advocate. Let's think about this too. How many times do you hear a man say he don't need a woman? But women, the first one to say, "Oh, they don't need a man for anything. They can do this on their own." I, I'm all with them. I'm all with it. Yeah, you a sense of independence, but man and woman, we supposed to be codependent on each other.
True.
And when these women started getting Section 8 and the low income housing, and the government told them, "Well, you can't have a man in the house." They thought they was living high on the hog because they was doing it by themselves. So I think inherently there's a problem with that, where you don't think that you need a man in the house, or you need a partner. Whether it's me and him or her and her.
Right.
Everybody need a partner. Everybody need a partner. That was my point. When you hear these people saying, you hear these women saying, "Oh, I'm independent," but none of these bills being paid around here are being paid by you. That means you still codependent upon somebody. So
you're absolutely right. I mean, you can't argue that fact. when I guess my point is this: when you get the assistance and you're in it, you start to live a lifestyle. You talk about living above your means. Well, you don't know what your means are if you're not paying your full bills, right?
Right. A lot of people don't budget their money.
Right.
A lot of
And that's
Yeah.
and
I've had my share of
that's
that.
that's a big problem.
Right.
That's a big problem.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
even if you're budgeting your money, let's face it, man. Unless you are bringing in unless you got two people working 40 hours a week, bringing in $15 an hour or more,
A plus, right?
you're not gonna make it.
Yeah. It's
Right.
gonna be difficult.
You know,
Right.
listen. I just saw today a listing for a trailer for
Mm.
$800 a month.
Wow.
Like that's and it wasn't like a super nice one. It was
What was
just,
it at, in the middle of Seven Hills somewhere?
yeah, I don't know.
It had to be.
Right. But that's the thing. Like we talk about wages going up, but along with wages going up, the price of everything goes up. So we're not any better off.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
the assistance still needs to be there. I believe that it's a big
does.
part of it, but it's hard to, once you get in that assistance, to work your way out of it, because now you've lived this. Even if you're given 5 years or 2 years or a year, it doesn't take long to get used to being in that. So now you got to try to work your way out.
30 to 90 days, the experts say, for you to get used to any situation.
Right.
Whether
Right.
be good
And
or
I
bad.
feel like, and I think 30 days is probably the best representation of this, because you get through that first month where, oh shoot, I got this extra money now because I don't got to pay all these extra bills.
Right.
So I think where the flaw in the system is, and this is just my opinion, is that there is no, like, we call it a stepping stone, but there's no next stone to get out. Right? There is
Nah,
no
you
gotta
next
work.
step.
You gotta,
Yeah, but the next step should be you.
yeah, you
Well,
gotta.
I agree with that. I agree with that to a sense. But if we're talking about the fact that you don't have, even working at $20 an hour, I'm scraping by to pay for my house where my kids live and my wife lives. Like, I understand that it's a struggle, and everybody has the right to struggle, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But there needs to be, if you get the Section 8, okay, then there's got to be a step to get from whatever, Section 8 or public housing or whatever it is, a step to get from there to where you can get back to struggling. And not,
So what did we propose? What could it possibly be?
Well, let me interject right here. Look, I remember at the time when I was married. All right, my wife and myself, we both worked. All right, we both had to work. We was doing fine. Until I got laid off from a job that paid significantly more. Okay.
Right.
And then now, while we had the jobs, everything we purchased was based on our income combined. So we
Right.
didn't live beyond our means because we wanted to be able to make sure that if something were to happen, okay,
Mm-hmm.
we were able to financially sustain ourselves, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But being laid off was never a part of the plan. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I'm
A lot of
speaking of
people
when I
one
say something.
paycheck away from being
Yeah,
homeless.
definitely. And when I say something happening, I'm saying something like, the car need a tune-up, or oil change,
Right. Right.
the stereo blew a fuse, and I need to go get another one. Just a couple
Simple
hundred
as the
dollars,
smallest.
right?
Right.
Something small, something minute. The TV went out. We got to go grab another TV now. It's
Right.
no big deal about having the money
Something
for
you
that.
could live without.
Yeah, something I could live
Right.
without, but since I'm
Mhm.
working hard for what I got, I'm not gonna live without my TV. You know
Right.
what I mean? So if that happened, I had to cover my hiney about that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So what ended up happening was our rent was within our means. We didn't pay a stupid amount of money every month. We stayed down on Fleet, and our rent was $475 for a 2-bedroom. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So for us, that was cool. We wanted to keep it under 500. Our top was 500 though. If we
Right.
had to get a
Right.
place, it'd be 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, whatever. It had to be 500, 550 max. If
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna have that extra bedroom. But the kids were little, so it wasn't that we didn't have all 5 of them yet. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it was cool. Now, I ended up losing my job, man. I ended up getting laid off, and I ended up having to go get another job that paid significantly
Significantly less.
less. Yes. And that, my brother, oh man, that right there, man, that hit my pocket. So
Yeah.
there was no money to save, there was no money to put back, and what we did have put back, we actually ended up putting that money towards bills,
Mm-hmm.
to try and compensate the offset. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And um, what I found was when we ended up making it through that. Okay, despite
Mm-hmm.
despite a lot of trials and errors, we ended up.
You gotta bump your head. You gotta bump your
Yeah,
head.
we bumped our head, man, to where we had to take Advil. You know what I'm saying? Like it was painful. It was really painful. Like, and we ended up making it out of it. We survived.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we made it back to land. Because it felt like we was drowning, man. We made it back to the
Yeah.
beach. On all fours, huffing and puffing. But we looked at each other and was like, we did it. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Now, I'm gonna tell you something. After that, I ain't save a dime. Because I had been broke for so long, I couldn't spend no money. Y'all don't hear me, though. Mm-mm. I was so broke, bruh.
I hear you.
When we finally did get some money,
Right.
and
No more top ramen.
Man.
We getting real spaghetti noodles now.
man,
Right.
I was like, oh my gosh, I got
Right.
it. I went shopping. I went to Tower City. And then the
Mm-hmm.
little stuff that I wanted, I ended up going to one of my favorite spots, Plug the Foreman Mills. You know what I'm saying? I hit them up for my little everyday wear,
Right.
and I went downtown to Tower City for my fits, Like, hey, I'm going to tell you something, man. When I finally did, I went to a car lot, got a car. I went and got a whole nother car.
Oh yeah,
Because
no
I was on
doubt.
the bus. I had to
Right.
catch the bus, man, because I couldn't afford, to get a car, and I couldn't afford insurance. And I was placed on the program that allowed me to pay $50 a month to the state
Oh
to
yeah,
keep my
yeah.
license valid. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So, and I couldn't be caught driving. Then I go to jail. Then I lose the job. Then we lose the house. It would have been a domino effect.
Right.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? It would have been a
And
domino effect.
a lot of people faced with the same stuff. A lot of people faced with the same stuff. Like we were talking about child support, and you owe child support, and you fall behind because of something else, not even your fault, but they take it. license from you.
Yeah,
So
me and my brother talked about that too.
how do I get to work? The bus bus lines only take you to the penny ante to the $12 an hour jobs. They don't take you to the $20 an hour and
they sure ain't.
Right.
No, because the $20 an hour paying jobs, they out in the areas where there is nothing going on except, industrial, like the industrial parkways. You know what I'm saying? Yep. A lot of the industrial parkways that are out in Cuyahoga County, and
off the beat there.
Yeah, some here in Summit. It's you can't get there, man. You can't get there. Like they got a place out here that you can't get there on a Sunday.
Elyria and Lorraine. If you don't have a vehicle, you're stuck. You and I both know firsthand.
Cause I remember when they had buses out in Elyria and Lorraine. Now you ain't got nothing. It's nothing. There's no way to get around.
Uber or Lyft.
Yeah, Uber or Lyft.
And who can afford to do that? And who can afford to do that 10 times a week?
Nobody.
Yeah, that's expensive.
Nobody.
That's nobody. You gotta hope that you got a homie at your job site that lives close enough that you can at least walk home, if nothing else.
Or a durable bicycle.
And listen, we all live here in Northeast Ohio, and we know that these winters are not anything to mess with. So when you gotta, I worked at a job without a license. The job I was talking about actually when I first moved to Akron.
Mm-hmm.
A couple times I had to catch the bus. Now the bus would stop about a quarter mile from the job, right up there, Al, right up there by Rubbermaid.
Yeah,
I would get off right up there by Rubbermaid.
Okay, yeah.
But I had to walk down that hill, and then back up the hill if I didn't catch a ride home.
That's a long
in the wintertime. Now listen.
Yeah. God forbid it's the wintertime. It's raining.
Right.
It's a storm.
Right. And thankfully I only had to do it a few times. But the times that I did it, man, it sure made me appreciate the fact that I listen. People do this all the time. I see people getting on and off the bus, going to work all the time. And to those people, listen, I commend them because it's not easy. First of all, because you take an 8-hour day and you make it a 12-hour day. Easy.
Yes.
Sean, I'm going to give you an example of where he's talking about. Let me give you an example. It's like walking from 147th, 149th, right? All the way down to 93rd and Harvard.
So
yeah.
And it's a hit.
But
that gas station right there at the corner store.
I've had to do that walk before myself in the dead of the wintertime.
Yeah.
The buses stopped running.
Yeah.
Everybody who could give me a ride. I was working in Longhorn out in Solon. And I had to walk down Aurora Road through Solon, through Bedford,
just to get to Warrensville.
Yeah. And I stayed off of Lee and Chagrin.
Oh man.
Yes. So
you had to walk that? Did you have to work the next day?
Yes, I did.
Ooh.
Still made it.
It's about a year ago. I had to walk in that cold snow, man. I ain't had nowhere to go at the time, and the struggle was real, man. And I had some steel toe boots. I had to wear boots to work. You know what I'm saying? I had some steel toe boots, man. And I honestly believe after that winter was over with, I think I contracted frostbite, a mild case of frostbite. Bro, I couldn't feel my big toe. I couldn't feel my big toe for like 5 months.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh.
Listen, we can't get into, at least on air, what he had to do to try to get feeling back in his toe.
Yeah. Right.
It was definitely right. So we've all been there, and I guess to put a cap on all this, what we're trying to get at is that it's a struggle.
Yeah.
But you gotta struggle, and I just believe that the system sets people up to fail more than it does to succeed. So whether it's giving you assistance, the assistance is great while you have it, but when it runs out, you're back at square one. Because most people don't think forward enough to save up the money because, like Al said, been
Yeah.
broke for so long. I'm spending.
Yeah.
I'm spending.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
turning up because
And-
I'm tired of being broke. I
And
want to
when you start
enjoy
doing, and
that.
listen, I'm guilty of that too. I even with the studio, I am terrible. I've got so much stuff in this studio right now. Like we
Yeah.
probably have enough to run a radio show. In fact, well, we
Yeah,
kind of do.
it's all kind
But
of
we have enough
Mhm.
to do everything that we need to do, whether
yeah.
it's music or
Yeah,
podcasts or
music
this show,
or-
whatever it is.
Everything
Right.
is in here.
Right. Right.
And I keep, and my wife, God bless her, because she puts up with me and my ridiculousness more than well, certainly more than my ex-wife did, and more than anybody who
Hey, you chose a better teammate.
Hey,
that's it. And
that's
hey.
Sometimes you gotta go. Sometimes you gotta go from the Lakers to the Cavs and have them build the team around you.
Listen, I'm gonna say
hey,
I'm gonna
hey.
say I went from the Cavs to the Lakers, but
Okay.
because a lot
You
of
know,
times I feel
please.
like I'm living in Hollywood. So that is but in all seriousness, man, I feel like we just need to. You asked me what I would propose. What I propose is this. What I propose is you get a certain amount of time on whatever public housing assistance you have, whether it's Section 8 or whatever the other ones are. And then there's a step up from that where you got to pay a higher percentage.
Mm-hmm.
You go from paying, let's say, 25% to you got to pay 50 to 75%.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you do that for a year. And it allows you to build, it allows you to physically see
Mm-hmm.
what you're going to have to pay.
That's
And
a good
be
idea.
more conscious of it.
That's a good
Because
idea.
when you go from paying 25% to paying 100%, you don't know what that 100% looks like.
Right.
And then you're there. And then you're,
Right.
uh-oh, what am I going to do now?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because I've run out of all the assistance I can get.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there just needs to be more steps to get people out the door. It's the same. I hate to kind of relate it to this, but it's the same as like with prisons. Okay? You can't just, you did 12 years, boom, your time's over. Here you go. Go back to the real. What are you going to do? You don't know anything.
And this is right.
A lot of things change. A lot of things can change in 2 years
Mm-hmm.
in the world. Forget 12
Right.
years.
Right. And you, with that same example, if you don't do something, this is what, if you don't try to curtail the problem, then you have recidivism. It becomes a revolving door, and now that same person is back in the same system they escaped from or worked hard to get themselves out of.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So that's I mean, I think that we could definitely take more steps in all of, any kind of system that you're looking at, whether it's government help or being locked up or,
Mm-hmm.
whatever kind of system we get caught in.
Mm-hmm. Right.
There's got to be more steps to get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes people like us and Shawn, from what I've heard about you, and I don't know you on the same level, obviously, but from what I've heard, man, look, I commend you for taking those steps. I commend you for making a difference from where you're at, because it takes people like you to really put some truth on the things that are going on. It's not sugar-coated cotton candy and birthday cakes. It's hard stuff. You got to put your nose to the grindstone. You got to get up every day. You got to do what you got to do, whatever it is, whatever your job or you want to call it your hustle, whatever it is. Whatever you got to do, you got to get up and you got to get it done, man. And for you to be an example of that means a lot to your community, and it's going to mean a lot to a lot of different communities as we get this circulated, because our goal here is to point the light at people like you, because we see it from ourselves, but we're also not vain enough to just shine the light on us and be like, look at me and look at our ideas and this is what we do. Like, we do our part, but it takes more than just us doing our part. So we want to show other people, like, hey man, look, I don't care if you've been to prison.
Right.
I don't care if you've been 4 times.
It's what you're doing after.
Yeah, if you're out, you have a chance to make a difference. So,
Mm-hmm.
and
It's
that's
what you do now.
and Shawn, that is what you're doing. That is the epitome of what the good in the hood is about. And I
Yes,
thank you
sir.
so
Thank
much for listening to me. I'm gonna let you continue with Al. I'm gonna step out, but
Yeah, I'm on y'all show. I'm on
but
y'all
listen,
show.
I do want to thank you for
This is an
taking the
honor for
time.
me. Thank you.
Yeah,
I
for
want to
real.
thank you for taking the time to join us and to have this conversation with us because
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
what turns into or what started out as typically a 30-minute interview is going to turn into half the show, which I'm fine with because
Yes,
it's a
sir.
three-way conversation that's going on
Yeah.
at
Right,
this
right,
point. So
right.
and it's stuff that people need to hear because everybody's got ideas
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and maybe if we get enough of the same ideas together,
Then we
Mm-hmm.
come
somebody's
to a
going to hear this
solution.
that has listen,
Mm-hmm.
we've got a few friends with a little bit of power that might be able to step on the pedal for us. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean?
Right.
So we may not have the keys to the truck, but we can get her tuned up and running. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
that's
for
that's
sure.
what we're
That's
For
what's
trying to
sure.
up.
do.
That's what's
Right.
up.
Yeah.
Bruh,
Yeah.
I got one last question for you, man.
Yes, sir.
And because this you said this weighed a heavy on your heart. Um I guess supermarkets there in the city have been selling food that hasn't been its
Yeah.
freshest, we'll
Outdated.
say that.
Um, Old food, bad food. Um, Outdated, high priced. On top of that, um, and I think there needs to be some type of supermarket reform. You got some of these corner stores. They say convenience, but I think the only convenience is for them. They sell us low grade stuff at high prices, and
Hmm.
I think it's unfair to the people in these communities we trying to reach out to and help, but they come into our communities and usurp all our resources. They use up our people. They take our money. What about I stay in a predominantly black neighborhood. The black dollar doesn't recycle back here much too often. We talking about $100 might be spent, and I don't know I don't know the actual numbers, but I think the last time I seen something was like I spent $100, only three comes back to my neighborhood.
Oh
It-
wow, right.
it's not equal. It's not equal. So we got to do something. We got to stand up to the people who out there who are oppressors. Say you've come to help, and in all actuality, you've come to be robber barons.
Wow. That's deep. So you had an idea for some kind of supermarket or corner store reform, right?
Yeah. Fresh fruit always, low prices.
Mm.
And how I would do that, especially with what fresh produce. We got greenhouses right here in Cleveland that you
Yeah, I
could grow
know.
around year round.
Yeah, I know.
Year round, cheap produce. Um, some people might call it. I think they used to call it back in the day co-ops.
Yeah, right,
They
right.
probably need to bring that back because there's a lot of people out here that need help. And there's a lot of people who don't eat healthy on top of that because of the same stores that's been selling this outdated, bad, spoiled, high price, low grade food. It's a bunch of trash in there.
I
People get diabetes, hypertension.
yeah. I I've seen some food in the corner store. I ain't gonna say no corner store name.
I will.
I,
I will.
I know you will.
Yeah, I will.
Well, I ain't gonna put them out there like that, but they got the same food that was in Aldi's and Save A Lot in their store. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because it's certain brands that are only found in that store. You're not gonna
Mm-hmm.
find that in any other any major store like
Mm-hmm. And they've done a 30, 40, 50, 60, 70% markup because they called it convenience.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I can dig it. It's I agree with you, man. Something got to be done. I can dig it. Something got to be done
Yes,
about
sir.
that. You can't have outdated food in the community, and calling yourself going provide it, give nutrition of
Bro, yeah,
any
you're
sort,
providing a
with
service,
spoiled food. Like,
but the
where they do
service
that
is
at?
subpar. Right.
I don't understand it. But look, man, it was a pleasure having you on the show
Thank
today,
you.
man. I
Thank
want
you.
to thank you
Ashe,
so
brother.
much, man, for joining us, man. and bringing your views and giving some kind of enlightenment on your ideology in
Yes,
regards
sir.
to our community. And
Yes, sir.
I'm
Thank you, sir.
grateful
Thank you
for it,
for
man.
having me, y'all. Thank you, brother Justin.
All right, listen, man, it was a pleasure. Pleasure to get to speak with you. A pleasure to get your point of view on all this stuff, man.
Yes,
It
sir.
really
Thank you.
is, and I meant what I said, man. We're here to shine the light on people like you. So thank you for
Thank you.
keep doing the work that you're doing in your community.
Yeah,
Keep
keep doing
building
it, bro.
people up.
Yes, sir.
And anything we can do here at the Good in the Hood to help you out,
Yeah, for
listen.
sure. Let us
Don't
know.
be afraid to call
Yes,
us,
sir. I
email us,
will. Thank you.
and I'm excited, man. Listen, when Corona leaves or whatever, and the weather turns back to decent, we're gonna be doing some on location stuff. So I'd love to get together, and
Yes,
just
sir.
be able
It'd
to
be an honor.
just to be on location with some of the stuff that you're doing there in the CLE. I know
Yes,
the
sir.
216 or whatever you want to call it. Really appreciate
216.
really.
know.
I'll tell you, the 330 appreciates what you're doing in the 216.
Yes.
All right?
I'm gonna give him that
Thank
too, cause I love it here. It's all right here.
Right.
It's all right here.
So, but Shawn, thank you so much, man.
Yes, sir.
It was
Thank you,
truly a
y'all.
blessing to get to speak with you. Keep up the good work, man. And again, anything
Thank
that we got going on here, we'll be sure to keep in touch with you, and we'll do this again. Do it
Hey,
again soon.
Yes, sir.
and
Thank you. Please.
I'm gonna say this, man, and I'm a go, man. Congratulations again on your baby, the new baby boy.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations to the missus. May she be blessed. You know what I'm saying? In
Yes,
Jesus'
sir.
name, may your
I'm gonna
family
send you
be
some.
blessed. You feel me? You
Thank
know
you,
what I'm
brother.
saying? And from me to you, wow,
Yes,
salam
sir.
alaikum, my brother.
Walaikum salam.
Inshallah. You taught me well.
All right, man. Thanks for being on the show.
Yes, sir.
Welcome back, guys.
Wow.
Wonderful, wonderful conversation there
Yeah,
with
man.
Shawn.
That was deep.
Again, we really appreciate him coming on, taking some time out and talking to us. We just wanted to highlight what the Good in the Hood is really all about, and
Yeah, that's it.
not much more can be said about that, man, because he definitely hit the nail right on the head.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
So some great stuff. Appreciate everybody tuning in.
yeah, thank you.
It's a little, we're keeping it short, in the post interview because we had a long interview, but again, well worth it. Well worth it. Good, nothing better than a conversation, just to get some things out in the air sometimes. And I hope that we can formulate some ideas and come together and really make a serious impact in both communities, I guess, at this point.
Yeah,
So
all communities around Northeast Ohio, baby.
right,
There's some good in the hood.
that's right. It's been fantastic. Some things to look forward to. We are on all kinds of podcasts now. So you're gonna have to check. We're on iTunes, Google Podcast, Stitcher. We are looking to get into a few more. Those are the three that I know that are big right now that we're in. We're looking to get into a few more. Google Play also, which I don't know what's different, or Google Music. I don't know what's different between that and Google Podcast, but we're on both. So there's that. So you can look for the Good in the Hood. Make sure you check out the spelling and get it right so that we can get, you get the right show.
Yeah.
Because we're not the only show that's called, well, we are the only show that's The Good in the Hood. But there are some similar names out there.
Yeah.
So make sure you just plug us in. Again, we're going to be putting all those links on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, missing one, YouTube. As soon as I get all the links for those together, we'll be posting those so you can check us out on podcasts. You don't have to watch our shining faces. You can just listen to our beautiful voices while you are going about your day. Understand that 2 hours is quite a long time to watch somebody on a screen. So
Yeah.
we wanted to make sure we got podcasts out there. We got them. Yay.
Got 'em.
Also, we are in the works for t-shirts. We're going to have t-shirts for sale.
T-shirts.
Those, again, the mock-ups will be posted. We're going to take orders for them. We'll put the orders in. We have yet to figure out the shipping. So if anybody out there has any good ideas for cheap and or free shipping, we want to make these as accessible as possible to people. So let me know. Shoot me an email. Shoot me a direct message on Facebook. Leave a comment. Whatever. If you got some ideas on how we can ship some T-shirts,
Yeah.
be awesome to hear from you guys. Also, make sure you're liking, subscribing, sharing. We want to get the word out, but we need your help to get the word out.
Definitely.
So go ahead and just do us the favor of liking the show, subscribing to the YouTube channel, and sharing it on Facebook. Share the YouTube plug, share the Facebook plug, wherever you've got it, man. Just share it. All that stuff. Again, you'll be able to pull that right from our Facebook page, our Instagram, our Twitter,
Right.
and you can forward that out to whomever you want to forward it out to, which I hope is everybody in your contacts list. So, I again appreciate everybody tuning in. It was a fun show, man.
Fun show.
As always.
Yeah.
We got to touch on some good stuff.
Yeah.
We do have some future guests coming up. Al, tell us about our next couple guests coming up.
All right. We got next we got a local artist. Angie, she is a local artist that she does jewelry, paintings, all kind of stuff. Just makeup artist, phenomenal individual, and she holds down a full-time job as well. She is a wonderful person. Also, we have coming soon another recording artist. It goes by the name of Two Tech. That's Terrence Rouse. Man, he got some hot stuff. He's been traveling back and forth from Ohio down to Atlanta. Also, he's done some things down in Florida, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, definitely stay tuned for that. I'm gonna try and see if their schedule will allow, especially with COVID going on. I'm not for sure if his schedule will allow that. Because they have shows that are being canceled, and it's like, but now they're starting to allow concerts to take place, and what they're actually doing is they're putting these booths in. They're metal, like small metal stages with like 2 chairs.
Yeah.
And you and someone else can sit in this metal booth, and I guess it's 8 feet or something like that away from anyone else. So of course the tickets might go up because now you have less people that will be able to attend the venue, so but if you really want to hear that artist, go out and support him.
Absolutely. Make sure, speaking of supporting artists, definitely go on to your iTunes or your Google Play or your whatever, wherever you get your streaming music from. Whatever artists you like, whatever artists you support, buy their stuff, man. Don't just download it for free. Buy it.
Get it. They gotta eat.
They're struggling too, because a lot of their money and a lot of the revenue comes from these shows and from their albums are almost a thing of the past anymore, so people aren't really buying CDs and albums anymore. But make sure that you're not just going on and downloading stuff for free or whatever. Make sure we're putting money in their pockets as much as we can. That's definitely, I'm excited about that though. I'm excited to have more recording artists in, and I guess just artists. I'm not sure what to call them.
Angie's an artist. It's pretty cool.
I love that art is a big part of my family anyways. So I love to see that kind of stuff going on. We are gonna have some more local businesses on.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that.
We are in talks and negotiations. I guess it's not really a negotiation. We're just trying to get the times worked out.
Okay.
But definitely gonna be pushing some new stuff and promoting some stuff. Again, I haven't had a chance to work on any music and getting things out there. Really been slacking on it, but I promise you it's gonna be out at some point soon.
All right. All right.
Next week we're gonna have a special guest for at least a few minutes. I'm gonna have my son on. We intended to have him on this week. It just didn't happen. So we're gonna have him on. We're gonna have him on next week. It'll be fun.
Okay.
A little in studio session with the boy. I think that's all I have. So be on the lookout for new music.
Yeah.
Be on the lookout for new T-shirts, Good in the Hood T-shirts. And help us out. Help us support our community. We're definitely going to use some of the proceeds from the T-shirts to go into the community.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
And we're going to use some of the proceeds of the T-shirts to, kind of keep the show going.
Yeah.
So we're not here to make a buck off of it. So
nah, it's just to help.
We just want to get the word out. So once again, thanks everybody for tuning in.
Yes,
Love
sir.
you guys. Make sure you're doing your part to make the world a better place. And tune in next Wednesday at 6 p.m. on Facebook and YouTube. In the meantime, watch it, like it, share it, subscribe to it. We love you guys. This is what's good in the hood.